Okay, so, sorry, it stopped with continuing the second part of the story. So Reb Zev realizes they're always vanishing. When the rabbi puts the wine on his eyelids, and on the fourth Shabbos, on Motzei Shabbat rather, Reb Zev decides that's it. He is not going to let the rabbi do it. He's going to find out where they're going. And as the rabbi dips his hands into the wine and about to touch his eyelids, Reb Zev was standing right near him. He pulls his hands down and he says, "No, Rabbi, I won't let you. You have to tell me where you go. I know I'm not dreaming you up. You're right here. I'm touching you and you're physical and you're here. But then you vanish the whole week and you guys are creeping me out and I want to know what's happening." So the rabbi says, "Listen, we don't know why Hashem let you come to our island. But since you're here, Hashem must have had a reason to bring you here. And so we're going to tell you the truth." He says, "You're right, we do vanish." He goes, "Where do you go?" The rabbi says, "We go to Gan Eden." He goes, "What?" He says, "Yes, during the week we go to Gan Eden. But I'll explain to you why." He says, "Actually, we're Jews who lived almost 2,000 years ago. Back then it would have been about 1,700 years ago. The days of the Baal Shem Tov. So, it says, we lived during the times of the second Bet HaMikdash. By the end of the second Bet HaMikdash." He goes, "Oh, now I get why you're dressed in such funny clothing." He goes, "Yep, we're not from today. We lived 1,700 years ago. And we were very poor Jews living in this little island. And our dream is that..."
Mommy, but where's the big kids?
Well, the big kids are with their daddy and their mommy, their tati and mommy, and they were watching them, and they were very safe.
And the brother was playing with the basketball.
Yes, maybe. I don't know if they had basketball back then, but maybe. And he said, the one thing we all dreamt of was to be able to go, to be Ola L'Regel to Yerushalayim, meaning to go to Jerusalem for the Chagim. But we had no money. We were very poor. So every year we would collect money. We do like a goral between us. We'd collect money. Everybody would give a certain amount of money, whatever they could afford, a small amount. And we were able to buy a ticket for 2 people only to go to Jerusalem for Sukkot. It was the one Chag we used to send, and they were our representatives. And when they came back, we would greet them with tambourines and music and baskets of fruits, and all the women would bake delicious cakes, and it was like this huge holiday. And when they would come back, they would share what the Bet HaMikdash was like and all the experience. And for days we would sit around in the shul with them and hear stories of Eretz Yisrael and the Kohen Gadol and the Bet HaMikdash and the Levim and how all the Jews got together. And we'd all long to come. And we always used to leave a lookout boy on top of the cliffs to see when the ship was coming back. When we'd see the ship coming back, a few weeks after, with the mommy, sleeping in the basket. When
they're in the straw.
Yeah, in the straw. And he says, a few weeks after Sukkot usually is when these shluchim, these people who won the goral, won the lottery, would come back. And one day, it was that we sent them for Sukkot, but they were coming back too quickly. The lookout boy called, said, "They're coming back, I see them. And we're like, "Really? Coming back? So soon? We didn't prepare anything." And we all ran down to the shore, and true enough, the ship was coming back. And we could see the people coming, and we all started to cheer, "Yay, welcome back." We think it's very odd, how did they come back so quickly? But instead of looking happy, they had sackcloth and ashes, and they were crying. And we said, "What happened?" And they said, "Oi, you have no idea. We went to Eretz Yisrael, and when we arrived in Jerusalem, we saw that Lo Aleinu, the Bet HaMikdash Nechrav. The Bet HaMikdash was destroyed on Tisha B'Av a few weeks earlier. And there's no more Bet HaMikdash, and the Jewish people have been sent into Galut. The Romans took most of them to Italy and Rome. and all over like Europe, and they've all gone into Galut. And he said there and then we all sat down on the beach and we all cried and cried and cried. Everybody cried to the point that Parcha Nishmatan, that the neshama left their body. They were so sad that the Bet HaMikdash was destroyed. These were very simple, poor Jews, but they loved Hashem and loved the Torah. Certainly loved the Bet HaMikdash so much that they cried and cried till the neshama left their body and went up to Shamayim. And when we came up to Shamayim and the Bet Din Shalmala, they said, "What are you doing here? You weren't supposed to die yet. You're all too young to die. You're supposed to live longer." And they said, no, we were so heartbroken that our body our neshama couldn't stay in our body. We just, from a heartache. And the whole village passed away. Now there was a whole din Torah, a whole Bet Din, what to do up in Shamayim. These people weren't supposed to pass away. They were supposed to live longer lives. So, he says, Bet Din Shalmala, they decided that they're going to let us come back to this physical world and live out our days only on Shabbat. So, till the coming of Mashiach, I believe, we come back just on Shabbat and we live on this island. So, we're still living in a physical world because the mitzvah is a neshama beguf. You have to keep, meaning we serve Hashem, a neshama inside a body. It's wonderful once a person passes away, Hashem puts them in Gan Eden, but really the whole purpose of creation is to make this world into a dwelling place for Hashem, to turn this world into a home for Hashem by keeping Torah, by keeping mitzvot, for example, by keeping Shabbat. So they said we missed doing all these mitzvot, we can't keep mitzvot in Gan Eden. So that's why they told them, since you love Hashem and the Bet HaMikdash so much and the Jewish people so much, we're going to let you come back just on Shabbat. And on Shabbat, you will turn the physical world into a dwelling place for Hashem. So you come back every Shabbat, just like all human beings, all Jews and Goyim too, they also have their mitzvot. But the greatest of all is to be in this physical world so we can turn this world into a dwelling place for Hashem. So he said that's what happens. Every Shabbat we come back, and during the week we go up to Gan Eden. And he says, oh, that's why the Torah you're teaching me is so incredible. They said, yes, what we're teaching you, these are the words we heard from Moshe Rabbeinu, Avram, Yitzchak, Yaakov, all the big tzaddikim up in Gan Eden. And he says, wow. And they said, listen, now that you know our secret, you have to decide. Either you come back with us and you live out the rest of your days like us, every Shabbat down in the physical world, and during the week in Gan Eden. Or if you decide not to, we'll send you back right now. You go, send me back right now? How? There's no ships. I've been here a whole month. And there are no ships. He goes, yeah, there are never any ships coming here. They tell him, your ship, Hashem must have sent it somehow to find this deserted island. But you're right, there are no ships that ever come. He goes, how are you going to send me back? He said, don't worry, we know how to send you back. So what do you want? Do you want to come with us to Gan Eden during the week and only Shabbat live here? Or do you want to go back home? And it was a very hard decision for Reb Zev to make. He thinks, oh my goodness, what an incredible existence. To spend an entire week in Gan Eden and then on Shabbat to be in this amazing island here. Sounds incredible. But then he goes, 1 minute, no. First, I'm a chassid of the Baal Shem Tov, and I want to go back to my Rebbe. You know what? The Rebbe sent me on a mission. I should, and I have to ask my Rebbe. I have to, I'm a kusher to my Rebbe. I should find out from him. Secondly, I have a wife and children. They need me. I can't desert them and go. And lastly, he also thinks, the real purpose of existence is to make for Hashem a dira lo yitbarach betachtonim. To make, right, one of our 12 Torah psukim, right? Mommy, but right, liat lo dira zo yitbarach betachtonim.
But what's the little kid's name?
What would you like to call them? Call them Yisrael? It was Yisrael and Sarah, okay? Like my Stern is Sarah. So, Reb Zev thinks, no, this is as lovely as it is when a person's alive and is shama beguf. It's okay. A soul in a body can accomplish much more than a soul in Gan Eden. A soul in a body and a shama in a guf and a shama down in this body. When we are alive, we can turn this world into a dwelling place for Hashem by keeping Torah and mitzvot. And the whole purpose of all the worlds is for this world to finally bring Mashiach. And he figures, no, I'm going to go back to my Rebbe. I'm going to go back to my wife and kids. I'm going to stay down in this physical world for the rest of my days and do as many mitzvot as I can. And reveal godliness in this world. Make for Hashem a dwelling place in this physical world. And he says, I'm going to go home. So the Rav tells him, no problem. But you have to promise that we're going to send you back with Hashem's secret name. We're going to write on this little piece of parchment the secret name of Hashem, the Shem HaMeforash, Hashem's secret name that was said. Okay, so Hashem's secret name was a name that was said by the Kohen Gadol in the Bet HaMikdash only on Yom Kippur. And it's the name of Hashem that allows us to transcend this physical world. Right? Because we have our physical world, but there's also the spiritual world. Just like, for example, I'm using it as a mashal, but I might be saying it wrong. Like the radio, there's radio wavelengths, right? If you have the right mechanism, a radio, you could tune into the radio wavelengths and listen to the sound on the radio. If you have the right equipment, you can tune into the internet, let's say, right? And watch videos on the internet, learn Torah, things like that, because we use the internet. But you don't see the internet, but it's there. You're like that, it's there. So, same thing. There is a spiritual world, a ruchniistic world, where that's above time and above place, above space. And why did you ask me that question? I don't remember. Okay, I don't remember. I don't remember why you said this.
I can't remember.
It's okay. Okay, so he tells them, we can elevate you. Oh, Hashem's secret name transports people above that. That's how the Kohen Gadol, only on Rosh on Yom Kippur, we knew it. But these people from Gan Eden, they knew Hashem's secret name. They said, with Hashem's secret name, you can have Kfitzat Haderech, meaning you go above time, above place, and you're going to transcend into a spiritual world that will quickly take you wherever you want. So what you have to do is you have to hold on to this secret name of Hashem, Hashem's secret name, Shem HaMeforash, and close your eyes and think in your mind, concentrate on your town of Mejibush, where you came from. And within seconds, you're going to be in Mejibush, because you're going to transcend this world. You're going to go fly through, so to speak, the spiritual world. It's above time and space. And then you're going to come back down in this physical world, in the place what you're thinking of. So, but it's only done with Hashem's secret name. But he says this name is very, very holy. It's a name that's got the ability, it's Hashem's secret name, that only the Kohen Gadol knew on Yom Kippur. And it's got an ability to elevate people above the physical world. So, when you arrive in Mejibush and you hear the splashing of the water, because you'll arrive by the riverbanks in Mejibush, you have to take this parchment we're giving you, and you have to quickly throw it inside the water, and it will vanish, because no one's allowed to get hold of it. And Reb Zev promises, he says, no problem. And they write the Hashem's secret name for him on a piece of paper, and they hold it, and they tell him, now go, think, close your eyes, think hard of Mejibush, the riverbanks of Mejibush, where you come from, and you'll find yourself instantly there. And that's what he does. He wishes them, he tells them, thank you, it was nice meeting you, thank you for your hospitality. Doing Achnasat Orchim, he closes his eyes and he thinks of Mejibush. As he closes his eyes, suddenly he hears whoosh, 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 and he opens his eyes and he's shocked because he's mesmerized. He's suddenly in the riverbanks of his city of Mejibush, and it's dark outside. And he can't even think straight. He's like, whoa, how did that happen? And all of a sudden, in the darkness, he feels a hand grab onto his hand and try to pry his fingers open and pull out Hashem's secret name. And Reb Zev starts to shriek. Oh no, who is this who's trying to get to Hashem's secret name? And he goes, no, and he's screaming and he's splashing away in the water. And the other person has got a soft voice. There's not someone screaming at him. He keeps saying, Reb Zev, give me the paper, give me the paper. And he's so panic-stricken. He's not even listening to what the other person's saying and who it is, because he knew he's supposed to get rid of it. And he keeps saying, let go. And suddenly the voice says, Reb Zev, it's me, the Baal Shem Tov. He goes, what? Ha! The Baal Shem Tov. And he opens his eyes and he realizes in the darkness, in the moonlight, that it is the Baal Shem Tov. He goes, Rabbi, what are you doing? And the Rabbi says, don't throw it away. That's the whole purpose. I sent you. I need this parchment with Hashem's secret name so I can help Jews all over the world. I need to have Kfitzat Haderech. With this secret name, Shema Meforash, I can have Kfitzat Haderech and I can travel amazing distances instantly and go help Jews who are suffering all over the world. And Reb Zev, of course, gives the Baal Shem Tov the paper. And Reb Zev thanks him, and the Baal Shem Tov tells him, thank you. This is the whole reason I sent you. Now you can go back and be a Melamed and go teach Torah. I just couldn't tell you why I was sending you. And from then on, children, the Baal Shem Tov had Kfitzat Haderech, and he traveled far and vast, far-flung parts of the country, all over White Russia, Ukraine, all over Europe. And people who tell stories cannot explain how he was in one place and then immediately in other, and then he was seen the next day in other places. And not only did the Baal Shem Tov go alone, he used to take a group of his Hasidim who all vouch and all share this, that he used to have Kfitzat Haderech, and they used to go with him in the wagon, and they would suddenly be transported across vast parts of the country and go from one far-flung part of the country to the next in instances. But the Baal Shem Tov used it for the sake of helping Jews, for the sake of, bringing Mashiach Tzidkenu, and maybe very speedily again have Mashiach Tzidkenu and be again in the third Bet HaMikdash. And maybe we'll meet those people who cried, right? The ones who come back, and we'll tell them, we know the story. and maybe we'll see them in the Bet HaMikdash. Okay, Shavua Tov.